హలో టీచర్స్, లాస్ట్ క్లాస్లో మనం ప్రాబిలిటీ టాపిక్ స్టార్ట్ చేసాం. ప్రాబిలిటీ బేసిక్ టర్మినాలజీ అండ్ ఆల్సో ద మెథమెటికల్ డెఫినేషన్స్ చూసాము, అలాగే ఫ్యూ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ చూసాము. నౌ విల్ గో టు ఫర్దర్ టాపిక్స్. The mathematical definition what we have seen in the last class is probability of occurrence of event E is given by number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes in a sample space. So now we'll see the limitations of this mathematical definitions. The first limitation is when the events E are not equally likely. Not equally likely. In this case we cannot apply the mathematical definition. And our second limitation is when the number of outcomes are infinite or unknown. So in this case also we cannot apply our mathematical definitions. Now statistical definitions. Statistical definition. So this statistical definition, what this statistical definition says is, so in the mathematical definition what we are doing, we are just doing the trial once, we are just doing the event once, and we are calculating number of favorable events divided by total number of outcomes in a sample space. So this statistical definition ఏం చెప్తుందంటే, అలా ఒక్కసారి చేయడం వల్ల మనకి ప్రాబిలిటీ ఎగ్జాక్ట్ వాల్యూ రాదు, we are just doing it only once. So statistical definition ఏం చెప్తుందంటే, స్టాటిస్టికల్ డెఫినేషన్ ఏం చెప్తుందంటే, అలాంటి ఈవెంట్స్ని మనం ఎన్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్స్ రిపీట్ చేయాలి. సో అట్లా ఎన్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్స్ రిపీట్ చేసినప్పుడు దాంట్లో మనకి ఎన్ని టైమ్స్ మనకి ఫేవరబుల్ వచ్చింది డివైడెడ్ బై ద టోటల్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్స్ యూఆర్ రిపీటింగ్ ద ఈవెంట్ విల్ గివ్ అస్ ద ఎగ్జాక్ట్ ప్రాబబిలిటీ. సో సీ హియర్. సో the probability of occurrence of an event E is given by limit n tends to infinity m by n. Limit n tends to infinity m by n. So this n denotes the number of times we are repeating the event, and m denotes the number of times our favorable event occurred. Now limitations. So what are the limitations of these statistical definitions? So as we are saying, we have to repeat the event n number of times. We have to repeat the event n number of times. So there is one condition in the statistical definition. So when you are repeating the event n number of times, each event has to be repeated under identical conditions. Identical conditions. You have to repeat all the n number of events under ఐడెంటికల్ కండిషన్స్. సో అదే మనకి ఇక్కడ లిమిటేషన్ అవుతుంది. మనకి ఎన్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఈవెంట్స్ అన్ని ఐడెంటికల్ కండిషన్స్లో చేయడానికి వీలు పడదు మ్యాక్సిమం. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద లిమిటేషన్ ఆఫ్ ది స్టాటిస్టికల్ డెఫినేషన్. నెక్స్ట్ విల్ సీ ద ఎడిషన్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాబిలిటీస్. సో బిఫోర్ సీయింగ్ ద ఎడిషన్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాబిలిటీస్, ఫస్ట్ విల్ సీ ద ఫ్యూ టెర్మినాలజీస్ హియర్. Probability of A union B. This represents the probability of occurrence of A or B. Alage probability of A intersection B. This denotes the probability of occurrence of A and as well as B. And as we know, P of A represents the probability of occurrence of event A, and P of B represents the probability of occurrence of event B. So now when we have two events A comma B, when you have two events A comma B, the probability of occurrence of A or B is given by probability of occurrence of A plus probability of occurrence of B minus probability of occurrence of A and B. So this is the addition theorem of the probability. Now let us see a small example here. Now my A event will be getting a even number when a die is thrown. My event E will be getting a number 4. Getting a number 4. Now what is the probability of my event A getting an even number when a die is rolled? It is 3 by 6, it is 1 by 3. Alage probability of B getting a number 4 is nothing but 1 by 6, the probability. Now probability of A intersection B. Probability of A intersection B. So probability of A intersection B ఏంటి, మనకి ఈవెన్ నెంబర్స్ ఏంటి ఇక్కడ 2, 4 and 6. మనకి ఇక్కడ గెటింగ్ ఏ నెంబర్ 4 అవుట్కమ్స్ ఏంటి favorable outcomes? 4. So is there any intersection part? Yes, 4 is a part of a even number. So it is 1 by 6 again. Now, probability of A union B, which is equal to 1 by 3 plus 1 by 6 minus 1 by 6, which will be equal to 1 by 3. Probability of occurrence of event A or B is equal to 1 by 3. Next. Now, probability of occurrence of A or B is 1 by 3. See here, when our events A and B are mutually disjoint sets, when A and B the events are mutually disjoint sets, అంటే ఏకి బీకి అసలు సంబంధం లేదనమాట. సో అలాంటి కేసులో మనకి A intersection B will become 0. A intersection B will become 0. Then our probability of occurrence of A or B will be equal to probability of occurrence of A plus probability of occurrence of B అవుతుంది. Let us see a small example on this also. See, two events A and B. My event A is getting a number 5 and the event B is getting a number 6 when a die is rolled. Now probability of occurrence of event A is 1 by 6, probability of occurrence of event B is 1 by 6. It is same. Now probability of occurrence of A or B is equal to probability of occurrence of A plus probability of occurrence of B minus probability of occurrence of A intersection B. Is there any intersection part for these two events A and B? So there is no intersection part. Occurring a number 5 and occurring a number 6. Both are different. There is no intersection part here. Now probability of occurrence of A or B will be equal to 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6, which will be equal to 1 by 3. So this is for the two events A and B. Now we will just slightly extend this addition theorem of probability. We will see for events A, B and C as well. Now when there are three events A, B and C, the probability of occurrence of event A or B or C is given by probability of occurrence of event A plus probability of occurrence of event B plus probability of C minus probability of A and B minus probability of B and C minus probability of A and C plus probability of A and B and C. So this is the formula for addition theorem of three probabilities. Probability of A union B union C is given by probability of A plus B plus probability of A plus probability of B plus probability of C minus probability of A intersection B minus probability of B intersection C minus probability of A intersection C plus probability of A intersection B intersection C. So in the same way, when these three events are mutually disjoint sets, appudu emoutundi, these intersection parts all will become 0. Appudu probability of occurrence of A union B union C will become probability of A plus probability of B plus probability of C when the three are mutually disjoint sets. Now we see a small example here. So integer is chosen at random from first 200 digits. What is the probability that integer is divisible by 6 or 8? So this is one of the application of the addition theorem of probability. So n is equal to 200. Now event A refers to the integer is divided by 6. Event B refers to that integer is divisible by 8. Now I will see how many numbers are there from 1 to 200 which are divisible by 6. Now see here, my A set will become 6, 12, 18 so on up to 200 కాబట్టి 198 ఉంటుంది. Okay, 198 is the last number which is divisible by 6. So how many numbers are there here? N of A, it is 33. అలాగే సెట్ బి రాసుకోండి, 8, 16, 24 సో ఆన్ the last 200 is divisible by 8. So here n of b ఏమవుతుంది ఇక్కడ 25. n of b is 25. అంటే total number of favorable outcomes is 33 here, total number of favorable outcomes here is 25. Now a intersection b అంటే 6 తోని 8 తోని డివైజిబుల్ అయ్యాయి. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద LCM of 6 and 8? 24. So we'll write the numbers which are divisible by 24, 24, 48, so on up to 192. So n of a intersection b will become 8. Now apply the probability. What's the probability that integer is divisible by 6 or 8? మనకి ఏం కావాలి? probability of a union b కావాలి. probability of a union b కావాలి. See here, probability of a union b is what? probability of a. probability of a ఏంటి ఇక్కడ? 33 divisible by 200. అంతే కదా, n of a is nothing but the number of favorable outcomes. కానీ టోటల్ సెట్లో ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి? 200 అవుట్కమ్స్ కదా. సో 33 by 200. ద ప్రాబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ అకరెన్స్ ఆఫ్ b ఎంత? 25 by 200. The same way probability of occurrence of a and b, it is given by 8 by 200. So now p of a union b, which is given by p of a. p of a is 33 by 200 plus p of b is 25 by 200 minus p of a intersection b is 8 by 200. So it will become 200 divisible by 33 plus 25 minus 8. It will become 50 and the probability is 1 by 4. A, B, C are mutually exclusive and exhaustive events associated with a random experiment. Find P of A given that P of B is 3 by 2, 3 by 2 times of P of A and P of C is half times of P of B. We need to find P of A. We need to find P of A. So the relation is given right here. P of B, here it is 3 by 2 times of P of A. P of C is given 1 by 2 times of P of B. Now let us consider the P of A as small p. Let's consider. Now P of B will become what? 3 by 2 times of small p. అలాగే P of C ఏమవుతుంది? Half into P of B ఏంటి? 3 by 2 times of small p. P of A is equal to P. P of B is equal to 3 by 2 times of P. P of C will be equal to 3 by 4 times of P. Now check what is the relation between A, B and C. So here it is saying A, B, C are mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. So what's the meaning of that? P of A plus P of B plus P of C summation must be equal to 1 because they are mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. So add P plus 3 by 2 times of P plus 3 by 4 times of P, which will be equal to 1. Simplify. 4P plus 6P plus 3P, which is equal to 1. P will be equal to 4 by 13. That is nothing but the probability of A. Probability of A is 4 by 13. So using this probability of A, you can find the probability of B and probability of C as well. Now, conditional probability. So what is this conditional probability? Let us assume there is an event A, it is occurring. Let us consider the event A, which is the present event which we are doing. Now let us consider there is other event B, which is occurred in the past. Past lo event already అయిపోయింది. Now what is this effect? What is the probability? Sorry, there is a event B which is there is an event B which is already occurred in the past. So A event is the event which are doing the present right now, but B is an event which is already occurred in the past. Now ఈ B యొక్క ఎఫెక్ట్, B యొక్క రిజల్ట్ యొక్క ఎఫెక్ట్ మన కరెంట్ మనం ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసే ప్రాబబిలిటీ మీద ఎలా చూపిస్తుంది? దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ద కండిషనల్ ప్రాబబిలిటీ. See here, and it is denoted by P of A given B. Don't read as A by B, it is A given B. It is saying the probability of occurrence of event A given that B has already occurred. సో బి ఆల్రెడీ అయిపోయింది, దాని రిజల్ట్ మనకి ప్రెజెంట్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసే ప్రాబిలిటీ మీద ఎలా చూపిస్తుంది అనేది కండిషనల్ ప్రాబిలిటీలో ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేస్తాం. See, it is denoted by P of A given B. There is nothing but probability of occurrence of event A given that B has already occurred, and it is given by probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. Probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. We will see an example regarding this conditional probability in the last. So first we'll continue the topic from here. So it's given that P of A given B is nothing but probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. So from this we can extend and form the multiplication theorem. So see, what is the conditional probability? So first, what is the conditional probability? P of A given B is equal to P of A intersection B divided by P of B. Now the multiplication theorem says that P of A intersection B is equal to P of B into P of A given B. So this is our multiplication theorem in the probability. అలాగే సేమ్ ఈ ఫార్ములాని ఇంకో విధంగా కూడా రాసుకోవచ్చు. P of A into P of B given A. The same formula for P of A intersection B కి రెండు ఫార్ములాస్ ఉంటాయి. P of A intersection B is given by P of B into P of A intersection A by A given B, and also P of A into P of B given that event A, independent events. So in statistical terms, what is the independent of events? So we know that the conditional probability P of A given B, which is equal to P of A intersection B divided by P of B. So this is the conditional probability formula. So from this we have derived the multiplication theorem, that is P of A intersection B is equal to P of A given B into P of B. Now P of A given B, when this is equal to the probability of A alone, when probability of A given that B has already occurred is equal to probability of that A alone, then we can say that the A and B are independent events. A and B are independent events. So మనం ఎప్పుడు చెప్పొచ్చు అది? When the two events are occurring, the result of the event B will not show any effect on the occurrence of event B. Then we can say that A and B are independent events. So this is purely in the mathematical statement we are saying. If you want to say in the statistical statement, this is the condition for independent events. Probability of A given that B is equal to probability of A. Now see here. So just substitute this here in the conditional probability. Probability of A given B is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B, which is equal to probability of A if the events A and B are independent. Now see here, probability of A intersection B will become probability of A into probability of B. This is one more formula you have to remember. When the two events are independent, probability of occurrence of A and B is nothing but the probability of occurrence of event A and probability of occurrence of event B. Now, you see what is pairwise and mutually pairwise independent and the mutually independent events. Now let's consider three events A, B and C. Now probability of occurrence of A and B is probability of occurrence A into probability of occurrence of B. Probability of occurrence of B and C is given by probability of occurrence of B and probability of occurrence of C. Alage probability of occurrence of A and C is given by probability of occurrence A into probability of occurrence of C. So when these three statements follow, when the three statements satisfies, then we say that A, B, C are pairwise independent events. Alage apart from these three, there is one more statement. A intersection B intersection C is equal to probability of A into probability of B into probability of C. So along with these three, along with these three statements, if the fourth statement also follows, then we can say that all these A, B, C are mutually independent events. Only first three conditions satisfy అవుతే that is pairwise independent. So first three conditions తో పాటు the fourth condition కూడా satisfy అయిందంటే then we can call ABC as mutually independent events. Okay, let's see an example. From a city of population, the probability of selecting a male or a smoker is 7/10 and the statements are given. Now first, let us assume there are two events, A and B. Now A is nothing but selecting a male and B is an event selecting a smoker. Now write in the statistical terms. Probability of selecting a male or a smoker and a P of A union B, which is given by 7/10. A male smoker, that is probability of A intersection B, male and a smoker, it is 2/5. And the third statement is a male if a smoker is already selected, and a probability of selecting a male given that he is a smoker is given by 2/3. Probability of A given B is 2/3. Now find the probability of selecting a non-smoker. అంటే we have to find probability of B complement. Non-smoker, smoker అంటే ఈవెంట్ B అయినప్పుడు non-smoker B complement అవుతుంది. అలాగే a male అంటే probability of A we have to find, and also smoker if a male is selected first అంటే probability of selecting a smoker given that he is already a male. So these three terms we have to find out. Now let us see how to do this. What are the given terms? Just write in a brief. A union B is 7/10. Probability of A intersection B is 2/5. Probability of A given B is 2/3. So what we find out? We have to find probability of B complement, alage probability of A, alage probability of B given A. We have to find out these three. Now see here first. Probability of A given B. What is the formula for probability of A given B? It's nothing but probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. So we know what is the value of probability of A given B, that is 2/3, which is equal to what is the probability of A intersection B, that is also known, it is 2/5. So probability of B, it is unknown, we have to find out. So from this we can get probability of B is equal to 2/5 into 3/2, which will be equal to 3/5. So the probability of selecting B and enti a smoker is 3/5, but we have to find probability of B complement. So probability of B complement is given by 1 minus probability of B, which is 1 minus 3/5, it is 2/5. Now probability of A. So directly apply the addition of the probability theorem. Probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. We know the probability of A union B, we know the probability of B, and also we know probability of A intersection B. We can get probability of A from this equation. Probability of A will be equal to probability of A union B plus probability of A intersection B minus probability of B. So A union B is 7/10. A intersection B is 2/5. I will write that as 4/10 because I am making the denominators equal. Minus probability of B and D. Probability of B is 3/5. I will write it as 6/10. So just to make denominators equal. So 10 by 7 plus 4, 11. 11 minus 6, that is 5. So probability of A is 5/10, that is half. Now probability of B given A. Probability of B given A. What is the formula for probability of B given A? It is probability of A intersection B divided by probability of A. So what is the probability of A intersection B? We know it is 2/5. And what is the probability of A? We just found 1/2, which will be equal to 4/5. Now this is how we proceed when these kind of problems are given. When there is conditional probabilities or independent theorems or addition theorems, we have to just proceed in this way to solve the problems. So next we see the very important thing, that is the Bayes theorem. So what is this Bayes theorem saying? We just see here. Now there are events E1, E2 so on up to En. అట్లా మనకి n ఈవెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి and there is a probability assigned to each of the event. There is a probability assigned to each of the event. Now ఈవెంట్స్ అన్ని ఆల్రెడీ అయిపోయినాయి, ఈవెంట్స్ అన్ని ఆల్రెడీ అయిపోయినాయి అనమాట. నౌ దెర్ ఇస్ వన్ మోర్ ఈవెంట్, ఈవెంట్ ఏ. ఇట్ ఈస్ known, the event A is known and the probability of A is also known. Now the probability of A given EIs, the probability of A given EIs అంటే ఈ ఈవెంట్స్ E1 to En ఏదైతే ఉన్నాయో, సో వాటి కండిషనల్ ప్రాబిలిటీస్ కూడా మనకి తెలుసు అనమాట. ప్రాబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ఏ గివెన్ E1, ప్రాబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ఏ గివెన్ E2, ప్రాబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ఏ గివెన్ En. అప్పటి వరకు మనకి ఈ ప్రాబిలిటీస్ అన్నీ కూడా తెలుసు. నౌ we have to find the probability of EI given, probability of A given EI into probability of EI divided by summation probability of A given EI into probability of EI, where I takes values from 1 to n. Now this is the formula for the Bayes theorem, which is very important. మీరు ఏం ఆలోచించకుండా ఫార్ములా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, దట్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. నౌ దీంట్లో మనం ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూసి మనకి ఇంకా క్లియర్గా అర్థమవుతుంది బేస్ థియరమ్ అసలు ఎక్కడ అప్లై చేయాలి, ఎలా అప్లై చేయాలి అనేది. నౌ సో లుక్ ఎట్ ద ప్రాబ్లమ్ హియర్. సో దేర్ ఆర్ 3 candidates for the principal E1, E2, E3 whose chances are getting the appointment are in the proportion 4:2:3. The probability that even if selected will introduce co-education is 0.3. The probability of E2 and E3 doing the same are 0.5 and 0.8 respectively. So if the co-education system is introduced, what is the probability that E3 is selected as the principal? Now let us consider event A, which is the probability of introducing the co-education. Probability of introducing the co-education is event A. We can call it as probability of A is equal to probability of introducing the co-education. Now probability that E1 is selected as principal, which is given by 4/9. So 4 divided by 4 plus 2 plus 3. That's how we convert the proportion into probability. Now probability of E2 becoming the principal is 2/9. Alage probability of E3 becoming the principal is 3/9. Now what is the data given here? Probability that co-education, probability that E1 if selected would introduce the co-education, that is probability of A given that E1 అంటే A1 సెలెక్ట్ అయితే co-education ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేయడానికి ప్రాబిలిటీ ఎంత, దట్ ఈస్ 0.3. అలాగే ప్రాబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ఏ గివెన్ E2 అంటే E2 సెలెక్ట్ అయితే co-education సిస్టమ్ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేయడానికి ప్రాబిలిటీ ఎంత, దట్ ఈస్ 0.5. అలాగే ప్రాబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ఏ గివెన్ E3 అంటే ప్రిన్సిపల్ E3 సెలెక్ట్ అయినప్పుడు co-education ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేయడానికి ప్రాబిలిటీ ఎంత, దట్ ఈస్ 0.8. నా వాట్ ఈస్ ఆస్కింగ్, ఆల్రెడీ మనకి co-education ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేశారంట, కానీ అప్పుడు E3 సెలెక్ట్ అవ్వడానికి ప్రాబిలిటీ ఎంత అని అడిగాడు. Probability of selecting E3 given that co-education is already introduced. See here, the probability of selecting that E3 as principal, already the co-education system is introduced. So it is given by, directly applies the Bayes theorem formula, probability of A given E3 into probability of E3 divided by summation probability of A given EI into probability of EI, where I takes values from 1 to 3. So what is the probability of A given E3? 0.8. Let us consider 8/10 into probability of E3 is 3/9 divided by 3/10 into 4/9 plus 5/10 into 2/9 plus 8/10 into 3/9. So this summation I have expanded. 10 into 9, 24. So the denominator will be same, 10 into 9, 12 plus 10 plus 24, which will be equal to 24 by 24 plus 22, that is 46. So the probability that E3 is selected given that the co-education system is already introduced, is given by 24/46. ఈ క్లాస్లో మనం మ్యాథమెటికల్ డెఫినేషన్ లిమిటేషన్స్, అలాగే స్టాటిస్టికల్ డెఫినేషన్ అండ్ దాని లిమిటేషన్స్, అలాగే మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ కండిషనల్ ప్రాబబిలిటీస్, మల్టిప్లికేషన్ థీరమ్స్ అండ్ ఇండిపెండెంట్ ఈవెంట్స్ గురించి డిస్కస్ చేసాము. అలాగే ద మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ టాపిక్ ఇన్ ద ప్రాబబిలిటీ, దట్ ఈస్ బేస్ థీరమ్, దాని నుంచి డిస్కస్ చేసాము. అండ్ వీ హ్యావ్ సీన్ ద ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఆన్ దోస్ topics. So till here we can say that the probability unit is completed. So in the next class we'll start with random variables. Thank you.